Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about microservices and message brokers with a special focus on RabbitMQ. Let's start off by talking about microservices. What are they? Well, microservices are a style of software architecture where a large application is divided into small independent services. Each of these services focuses on doing one thing well and communicates with others through well-defined APIs. This approach offers several benefits, including easier maintenance, scalability, and flexibility to use different technologies for different services. Now, when these microservices need to communicate with each other, especially in an asynchronous manner, that's where RabbitMQ comes into play. RabbitMQ is an open-source message broker that enables complex routing, task queuing, message buffering. It's like a post office for your application. It helps ensure that messages between services are sent, received, and processed reliably. To get started, install RabbitMQ on your machine and have the service running. You can then head over to localhost 15672 to access the RabbitMQ management portal. There are a few key components we need to set up. One of the most fundamentals is a queue. A queue in RabbitMQ is essentially a buffer that stores messages. Producers send messages to a queue and consumers retrieve them. This system allows for asynchronous processing. Producers and consumers don't need to interact with the messages at the same time. In our first service, we receive a new post request. We decode the request body, perform some calculation, and send it back to the client. After that, we establish a new connection to RabbitMQ. We declare the queue that we want to publish our information to, and in this instance, it's the same queue that I created earlier. And then we publish this information to the queue with the publish with context function. Within our second service, the consumer, we also set up a RabbitMQ connection. We declare the channel that we want to consume from, once again, the same queue that we made earlier, and we decide to consume from that channel. We then perform some sort of calculation. In this instance, we're doubling the number that we received, and then sending it back over to the client through WebSockets. As you can see here from the demonstration, we pass in two numbers and send it over to the first microservice. The first microservice adds these two numbers together. It then sends it over to the second microservice. It receives the result from the first microservice and then doubles it. It then sends this result back to the client through WebSockets. And that's it. A very simple explanation to microservices and RabbitMQ.